Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're all welcome to today's meeting or a very important gathering that's going to give birth to another project. And I want to believe that in the course of the conversation, we'll have a better understanding of why this is a very important gathering. I believe that we are all from different organizations, and as such, I would want to seek your permission if we can commit this engagement to the hands of God. I'll seek your permission. If we can, if we can't, we can move on. So do I have your permission? Great. Thank you very much. So at this juncture, I'd please want to invite one of our own, Miss Thelma Asabre, to do the prayer for us before we commence this activity. Thelma, please do us the honors.
Good morning, everyone. Please, shall we rise for a word of prayer? We pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for how far you've brought us. We thank you for taking us throughout the other days. It's been raining since morning, but you protected us and kept us safe and brought us here safely. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for granting us this wonderful day and granting us the opportunity to have this lunch this day. We commit today's activities into your care. We commit all those still on their way into your hands. We pray that whatever we are coming to do here will be successful. And we are going to have a very good understanding of this project so that we do a lot of great input to have a successful implementation. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. We end our prayer in the name of the Son and Holy Spirit.
Thank you very much. She's spirit-led. And I know that this whole engagement is going to be spirit-led. Amen. All right. Thank you very much once again. Let me apologize for the late start of the event. I want to believe that the downpour this morning has created a lot of traffic. And so it took a while to get some of our dignitaries in here. But we do respect your time as an organization. And on behalf of my team, we do apologize for the late start of the event. So before I go on and probably give us just a little background to why we're here, I'll take the opportunity to introduce some of our dignitaries just for us to know. And please, if I do not mention your name in the first round, please do not take offense. We would want to stick to the time and also ensure that we acknowledge each and every one. So please pardon me if your name is not mentioned at the early part, and I know that definitely we will be acknowledging your presence because we are so, we feel appreciative to have all of you. I'll first start off by introducing or welcoming Mr. I hope, I'm sorry if I murdered your name. He is the Trade Councillor, EU Delegation to Ghana. Welcome, sir. Thanks to have you here. We also have, of course, Mr. John Inko, who is the Country Director of ActionAid Ghana. Thank you, sir, for coming. You're welcome. I would also want to acknowledge the presence of Madame Vera Kakari Bediakon, who is a Principal Program Officer, Department of Gender, who is representing the Chief Executive Director of the ministry. And I also want to acknowledge the presence of Madame or Ohima Grace Hagan, who is the Queen Mother of Treba, sorry. Okay, nice to have you, Madam. Welcome. I would also want to acknowledge the presence of Madame Mercy Labi, who is the Deputy Commissioner, Shraj. Good to have you here, Madam. Welcome. And let me also acknowledge the presence of our acting head of programs, Madam Shivera. Good to have you. Thanks for joining us. In the course of the presentation, please bear with me. As I mentioned earlier, I will be acknowledging the presence of every other dignitary that we have here. So for us at ActionAid, just to give us a bit of a background, for us at ActionAid, all of you know that we are a women-led organization. And this is an organization that has been working over the last 3 decades to fight for the rights of women especially, as well as put in place programs and projects that empowers women to fight for their rights and also resist any form of violence that are perpetuated against them. It is the reason why all of us are gathered here, basically to put our commitment together and also help all of us commit our programs and projects towards empowering women in the communities in which we work. So at this juncture, I wouldn't be taking the wind out of the horse's own mouth. I would want to have the privilege to invite my own boss, Mr. John Enko, to help us give us the welcome address. Sir, you're welcome. Please help me with a round of applause.
I'm grateful. Executive Director of FIDA Ghana, Madam Susanna Ayete, and your esteemed colleagues. The Chief Director, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, the representative of the European Commission, the acting head of Quality Management Unit, Ministry of Health, Department of Gender, Children and Social Protection, our trusted partners from the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Abantu for Development, NetRight, Queen Mother from Preba, representative from the combat team, representative of the paralegal team, colleagues from ActionAid Ghana, our dear friends from the media and invited guests here green gathered. All protocols duly observed. Thank you all for taking time of your undoubtedly busy schedules to join us here this morning for this important lunch. I believe I speak not only for myself and my colleagues at ActionAid Ghana, but also for our key partners, FIDA Ghana and the European Commission, when I say that this is particularly a fulfilling moment for all of us. As we commence yet another impactful action that will empower women in some of the most marginalized areas of our society, and more importantly, strike a blow to the decadent culture of violence against women. As trusted partners, ladies and gentlemen, stakeholders, fellow advocates, supporters and enablers of our various progressive endeavors, it is heartwarming that you all join us once to embark on another impactful journey. As always, We are more than glad to have you on our side, and you are warmly welcome. Permit me at this juncture to give you a little bit of a background to this, our project launch. Over the past decades, ActionAid Ghana have relentlessly pursued various forms of advocacy programs and projects in collaboration with like-minded and usually experienced partner groups to realize the societal imperatives of social justice, gender parity, and poverty eradication. Particularly, those that are focused on feminist leadership as well as human rights-based and inclusive development processes for women, girls, and other marginalized groups. It is in this vein today that we are here once again to launch yet an insightful, driven, and targeted action, aptly dubbed Transformative Action Quality, dubbed Tage for short. This is born from the collaborative endeavor between ActionAid Ghana, FIDA Ghana, and the European Commission, who have provided generous funding to activate this progressive project. The Tage, ladies and gentlemen, project falls under ActionAid's Mission Priority 2, which focuses on addressing the root causes of violence against women and girls and the reduction of unpaid care work and the promotion of decent work. It is to be implemented within a 30-month period within local areas in selected districts such as Binduri, Pusiga, Nanumba North, Sanarigu, Gan South and West, Ho and Adaklo districts in the Upper East, Northern, Greater Accra, and the Volta regions respectively. The action is expected to directly reach a total of 16,200 community members and an estimated 2.8 million women and girls indirectly, especially those with disabilities, widows, and informal workers. Other associated targets whom we seek to impact via a catalytic national social norms campaign as part of Tage are young people, men, media organizations, women's rights networks, government agencies, traditional authorities, and rights-based leaders. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I believe you will concur with me. Transformative action for gender equality is very critical. It's a very critical step in our ongoing women, especially in marginalized parts of our society, eradicate the scourge of gender-based violence from our culture, and ultimately attain the imperatives of social justice, gender equality, and poverty eradication. I thank you all for this continued support and commitment and the realization of these ideals. As the particular adage says, in unity lies strength. I urge us all to bring hands on deck. Our funders, the EU, I say welcome. Thank you very much.
I think we can do better. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Inko, for that inspiring welcome address. I think this actually helps all of us to get ourselves prepared, start lacing our boots, and then see how best we can continue the impact that we're making in the various communities. Thanks once again for that inspiring message. At this point, I would want to, as we earlier mentioned, we're not doing this alone as ActionAid. We're working on this in partnership. And as Mr. Inko mentioned, in unity lies strength. And so this partnership with FIDA, I believe with the message from the executive director, would also help us understand why this partnership, of course, with the other agencies is very important and critical to see to the success of this project. I will invite the executive director of FIDA Ghana, Madame Susan Aite, to please present her message to us. So please clap.
Okay, thank you very much. I think of recognizing everybody. So on behalf of the Executive Board of FIDA Ghana, I have a sincere appreciation to the European Commission for supporting ActionAid Ghana and FIDA Ghana to contribute towards the reduction of gender-based violence and intimate partner violence in a transformative way among underserved women and girls in 4 communities or 4 regions that have been identified by John. Now, one could easily presume that decades of working on GBV and IPV by both ActionAid and FIDA Ghana, as other women's rights organizations, would have generated considerable changes at the institutional, policy, social, and legal levels in addressing one of the most widespread human rights abuses globally. Shifts in addressing gender concerns and IPV, but sadly, this is not our story. Increases in gender-based violence and intimate partner violence recorded during the lockdown period due to COVID-19 at both the international and national levels call for sustained momentum in eradicating GBV and IPV because of its economic, health, and social implications. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, since April 2021 to January 2022, over 30 media reports of intimate partner violence have been recorded in different parts of the country. This situation attests to the fact that GBV and IPV is indeed a shadow pandemic, as aptly described by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres in 2020 during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. The odds are often stacked against women and girls, which includes women and girls with disabilities who survive violence. Together with a lack of legal support, very limited resources, a fear of systems and social reporting or pursuing crimes against them. This situation has sent wrong signals to survivors of GBV and IPV who have lost faith in the justice system and no longer chooses through the legal system and may resort to settling these criminal cases out of the court system. Now we have a very unfortunate trend now where GBV cases are now being heard on radio stations in Accra and Kumasi, and the media personalities are heard providing remedies in the form of monetary compensation to survive and IPV and their families. It is a dangerous trend which needs to be further examined so that survivors can easily receive appropriate support from the courts. Additionally, the DV Secretariat of the Ministry of Gender, and at this juncture, I'd like to say that I don't want to disappoint my friend from the state institution who just accused us of being too quiet. So I'm really going to speak about this. So I hope she's hearing. She knows herself. The DV Secretariat of the Ministry of Gender, Social Protection is financially constrained and unable to undertake activities related to its objectives, some of which includes the construction of reception shelters for survivors of GBV and IPV in the regions and districts. Also, the management of the Violence Fund described under the DV Act 732, 2007 has been resourced. Indeed, it has emerged that the budgetary allocation for the Ministry of Gender and Social Protection, for the Ministry of Finance, is not substantial and needs to be augmented. Therefore, the persistent cases of GBV and IPV requires the adoption of new strategies and reflection on gaps, impeding both state and non-state actors from providing comprehensive services to survivors of GBV and IPV. So if you hear me saying GBV, I mean gender-based violence, and IPV is intimate partner violence. Now, fortunately for both ActionAid Ghana and FIDA Ghana, we have worked with some heroes in the communities. The Domestic Violence and Victim Support Unit, DOVSU, the Department of Social Welfare, SHRAJ, additional rulers, and of course our community mechanisms, that is our paralegals and the compact groups, have worked diligently to fix systemic challenges in our legal, social, and policy spaces. Now, striking the right partnership to work on GBV and IPV is intrinsic to the work on reducing GBV and IPV. Both organizations have long-standing relationships with the selected communities, and their collaboration will serve to further widen our scope of operations to benefit more underserved women and girls. In this case, I'm talking about women and girls with disabilities. Now, innovative practices using tested approaches of ICT and new media tools such as WhatsApp platforms in the hands of survivors are not only empowering, but provides real-time responses to cases of abuse. Significant milestones of the TATE project will also be sustained if the government puts in place the following measures to fulfill its human rights obligations. Now, these are annual direct budgetary allocations of money or monies to the Domestic Violence Fund, as indicated under Section 31B of Act 732. The allocation of money to the DV Fund should be prioritized in the 2023 November budget discussions in Parliament. Now, the DV Fund has not received monies for the last 12 years or so. Therefore, we are proposing that the fund is adequately resourced as it will serve 16 regions in the country. Now, to have a fund that serves 16 regions means we need a substantial amount of money within that fund. Now, one of the critical things that we also need is the enforcement of the free medical care. It is critical to prosecution of cases. We also need to ensure that our state actors are able to apply protection and occupation orders, the DV Act, so that we can provide survivors with safe spaces. Finally, we need to also establish a strong coordination system by supporting institutions such as the DV Secretariat and DOVSU to play their key roles. Available response systems such as One-Stop Center of DOVSU, the Orange Center of the DV Secretariat, which is linked to the Bwami app that the UNFPA is supporting, are enough proof that state actors can make changes that will complement the work of non-state actors to end GBV and IPV. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. I'll give you 100%.
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Susan. That's a very inspiring one. And a lot of calls for us to take action. And one of the things that actually hits me is the fact that gender-based violence and intimate partnership violence, partner violence is a shadow pandemic. And we need to really, really be focusing on that, a shadow pandemic. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, there are a couple of people I'll need to acknowledge them. So please allow me to do that. I would please want to acknowledge Madam Linda Kofi, who is the Deputy Director, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. Is she here, please? Madam, thank you so much. Good to have you. I also like to acknowledge Mr. John Bismarck Akom, who is the Regional Director, Greater Accra Region for the ministry. Mr. Akon. Okay. For Shraj. Okay. So, okay, sorry. Shraj. I beg your pardon. Yes, Shraj. Okay. I also like to acknowledge Madam Selina Dosei from the Ministry of Health. Nice to have you here. Thank you. Can we also see Madam Juliet Doku, who is a program manager for the European Union? Okay. Good to have you. All right, so, and also Madame Noel Apia, FIDA, she's a program manager for the project. Okay, good to have you. Okay, so I think I'll move on as and when. I would also like to acknowledge Charles Bentum. Charles Bentum, okay, who is a secretary to the paralegals. Okay. All right, so we've heard a lot from the executive director of FIDA. We've also listened to Mr. John Inko, who is the country director of ActionAid. It is time for us to have some bit of details on what exactly the project entails. And so I would like to invite my colleague, Madame Mercy, who is the project manager for the Tage project. To explain to us or tell us a bit more, give us, throw a bit of light on the project and what exactly we are to expect and the level of impact we are supposed to be seeing. So please, I think with a round of applause, we can welcome her briefly. No, let me do that.
Thank you very much, Ohinewa. I would do a presentation, so if you could help me pull this pull-up to the other end. And I believe you all have the brochure. The brochure summarizes what the Tage project seeks to do, our objective, our outputs, our outcomes, the targets, beneficiaries, and okay. 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 It was.
It's still not coming. Is it? Okay. So that is our presentation outline. We'll give a brief profile about the two implementing partners. And before I start, I want to say a very big thank you to EU for funding this project. We are grateful. So I think my boss, Mr. John Inko, has done justice to the profile. I'll just run through, and Madam Susan has also done the same. We'll look at the project background, project implementation, the scope, the goal, expected outcomes, the project outcomes, then the activities that we want to run to get to our outcomes. So let's continue. So this is a brief about profile about ActionAid. ActionAid Ghana has been working in Ghana since 1990, and it's registered as an NGO, and it's also an affiliate member of ActionAid Global Justice Federation, and we seek to achieve social justice, gender equality, and to eradicate poverty. And ActionAid Ghana works in 11 regions out of the 16 regions of Ghana, and we have named the regions that we are. And our approach primarily is based on the human rights-based approach, and also we do intervention, or our interventions are aimed at tackling the structural causes of or manifestations of poverty and injustice, whilst addressing immediate needs in the manner that builds solidarity and empowerment. So ActionAid Ghana is the lead implementer of this project, and we are collaborating with FIDA. And FIDA, as we all know, is International Federation of Women Lawyers, and it's a reputable NGO as well, and they are non-partisan and made up of women lawyers that are committed to addressing discriminatory practices in society by promoting and protecting the rights of women, children, and the vulnerable. So you see how come we are partnering with them to implement this project. And it was established in 1974, but the legal aid program aspect of it was fully set up in 1985. And through their work, recipients of the assistance that they have been given to women, they have been able to secure their property, child support, and custody of their children. And in Ghana, they operate 2 offices, one in Accra at Medina, and also in the Ashanti region. Can we move to the next one? So now, why the Tage project? I think Auntie Susan has said a lot about why gender-based violence is a shadow pandemic. So we say that Ghana continues to struggle with ending violence against women and girls, which is mostly embedded in our social and cultural norms that seek to normalize this whole phenomenon. So in some rural areas, gender-based violence or domestic violence is seen as private issues that should not be discussed in the, it should be discussed outside of the criminal justice system. So from the Domestic Violence Act, it comes to help the victims of domestic violence to seek some redress. But as Madam Susan said, the Act made provision for that. But the one side of the other we are looking at, the fund that is supposed to support survivors or people who have gone through domestic violence to seek medical attention. The fund for that is 50,000 that was given to the fund when it came to being, has not been replenished as at now. So survivors' quest to access justice is challenging, hence a little deterrence for perpetrators. Women and girls are most at risk and need empowerment to know the rights, to understand and recognize all forms of domestic violence, and to also seek protection. The need to strengthen effective implementation of relevant laws, policies, and legal mechanisms which provide protection against violence is very key. And because of this background, with the help of the European Commission, funding from them, ActionAid and FIDA, we have put together this beautiful project called Transformative Action for Gender Equality to be able to address some of the challenges that I have given in the background. And as my boss said, the project is being implemented within a 30-month period, and it started actually, the signing of the contract was done in February 2022. All right, can we move to the next one? So the project implementation scope and location. The project is going to be implemented in 4 regions in Ghana: Greater Accra, Upper East, Northern Ghana, and Volta region. And we are going to implement it in the 4 regions across 8 districts in the 4 regions. So the district is what we have named. When you go to the northern region, we are going to be based in Anumba North and Sararigu. When you go to Upper East, Binduri and Pusiga. When you come to Volta region, Ho and Adaklu, and Greater Accra, Gan West and the South. And it's going to be implemented in 64 communities across these 8 districts. Now, what is the overall project objective or the impact? We want to improve gender equality and achieve a long-term reduction of prevalence of violence against women and girls across generations in Ghana. This is the overall impact we are looking at. And I believe other stakeholders, FIDA, other projects have already contributed to this. And this is also coming to buttress this outcome. At the end of the day, all that we are saying that, or all the actions that we are going to take, we want to contribute to this overall impact. Then specifically, the objective of the project is to prevent and reduce violence experienced among underserved groups of women and girls in the target districts through enhanced knowledge, positive societal attitudes, and responsiveness of state actors. 3 things. So specifically, this is what we want to do. We want to empower the women and girls to know their rights. Then when we are doing that in the district that we are working with, then we want to also encourage or bring about positive societal attitudes. That is why we are working with the Queen Mothers. We are working with the faith-based organizations to help us to bring about that change. Then that is why we've also invited the national or the state actors, so that we will have that responsiveness. Together, we can achieve this specific objective. Then the project output. We believe that when we do our activities, these are the things that we want to see at the end of the day. So we have 3 outputs. The first one is women and girls will have improved knowledge and increased ability to protect themselves from violence and seek support following threats of incidents of violence. When you empower somebody, you let the person will know that this is a violent act against me, then you then be able to stand up and protect yourself. Then the second one, as I said, is social norms campaign will enable communities, that including youth, men and boys, to respect women and girls' rights and provide support to keep them safe from violence. So when we get to the activities, realize that then we will engage men and boys, advocate, peer educators, influencers to help protect women and girls to bring about this societal change that we are looking for. Then number 3, we want the state agency. We believe that when we are done with a 2.5-year period, state agencies have improved skills and improved proactiveness and responsiveness to protect women and girls from violence. So these are the 3 key outputs that we are looking at. So how do we achieve the first one, where we want to empower the girls and the women? We will train and educate women on their rights, definitions of domestic violence, and reporting mechanisms, and legal protection, including protection and occupation order. So we are doing this by forming age disaggregated groups in the 64 communities. We have 3 groups. We are having group for girls from the age of 13 to 19, then 20 to 35, 35 and above. So these groupings will help them, train them. When you put them together in group, then we'll be able to understand their needs better and address them and empower them. We also develop, together with FIDA, podcasts and in our local languages, and create social media platforms for joint learning, information sharing, collective action, and women on violence prevention and detection. So these are some of the activities. We also set up and strengthen community-based anti-violence teams. Do we have a combat in the house? Okay, good. So they are going to serve as the anti-violence teams in the community. They will be working directly with the paralegals that FIDA will be training. They will be at the community level, the paralegals at the district level. So when there's an incident, it will just pass through the channel and it gets to be addressed quickly. Then we'll also provision of legal aid and counseling services to women survivors. So that is where the paralegals will come in, and the channels or the linkages will work perfectly, then issues can be addressed quickly. So these are the things that we will do. Then on the social norm campaign, we'll engage in community and district level awareness creation program using traditional and social media and use of influencing assets, information, education, and communication materials for education. So our Queen Mother is here. We will want to engage the community. They are the gatekeepers. We want to pass through them. If they give us their commitments, if they give us their solidarity messages or commitments, it is going to change the whole narrative in the communities. Then we also, as I said earlier, we recruit men and boys as influencers and agents of change to prevent violence against women. You agree with me that most of this gender-based violence that is perpetuated against women and girls is done by men. I stand to be corrected. So if you are getting the men and the boys to serve as agents of change, to serve as influencers in the community, then if somebody wants to perpetuate, if a fellow man wants to do this act, we know that, oh, okay, I stand a chance of being cautioned or arrested or, taken through the legal process system by a fellow man. So it will serve as a form of deterrence. Then start women-led national level social norm campaigns on positive norms that respect and value women and amplify stories of change. So the media, that is why you are here today. Some of these things will get it through the general public, through your medium, as you are carrying this one today live, the same way. So the social media campaign, you will help us to achieve this change that we are looking for. Then the responsiveness and the proactiveness of the state institutions, these are some of the things that we seek to do. We will build the capacity together, build the capacity of JOSU officers to recognize the signs of violence, document and respond to cases of violence, and support survivors, including training in sign language. We'll also give them communication skills training. I believe that we are saying sign language training because we don't want to leave people who will come with speech impairment. We want to also be able to address their concerns. So if you get to a DOSU officer and the person have this basic knowledge, then you can listen to. We don't want to leave anybody out. As the project Tage says, that we are most especially want to work with people with disability. So facilitate learning forums with state actors to share information and facilitate agency coordination. So you'll be seeing more often state institutions in your end. We'll be organizing these forums. We want to see how we can work together, collaborate, the linkages, and get things done within the shortest possible time to achieve more results. Then facilitate dialogue with state ministries and agencies on the full implementation of Domestic Violence Act, the operation of DVA support fund, that provide the free medical care for survivors of violence, protection, occupation orders, and for threatened women and girls. This is key. We would discuss with the state agencies when you are drawing up your budget. You make, if we can get a little, budget allocation for this particular policy so that those who suffer violence can have free medical education. So we'll have that dialogue as well. So when you see me in your offices, please, I am there to continue what we have started today. Then the stakeholders that we want to work with. The first target group, as I said earlier, is women and girls, most especially people with disability. We have a paralegal person here, right? So give us a wave. So he is representing the paralegals, and this is what we want to, the first target. The second one is men and boys as community allies and peer educators. Then the third category, we are looking at community-based, the combat, and the paralegals, the national industrial level state institutions and other institutional groups, DOSU, SHRAJ, and others. Can we go to? Then traditional authorities and faith-based leaders. In Ghana here, faith-based leaders, they are very, very key. When they stand on their pulpit to make a pronouncement, it goes everywhere. So we will be engaging with them. We'll be engaging with the traditional authorities, chiefs, and the queen mothers to help us achieve this aim. Then, as my boss said when he was giving his opening welcome address, we are targeting direct beneficiaries in the community level, 16,200 people. And through engagements, I think we are less than 30 people in this room, but it's being broadcasted on the various media channels. So it will reach the indirect beneficiaries, 2.8 million people. That is our estimate number of people we intend to reach after the implementation of the Tage project. And the budget for the project. The budget we receive is 550,000 euros. Yes, from EU for the project. I should have added that one. So that is the budget for this project. Thank you very much. Your brochure will give you more information. So as you are moving forward, the media, please carry this good news to the outside world for us. We want them to hear about it. Thank you very much. Madam Moderator, you can take over.
Oh, I don't think we're hungry already. I think we can do better, right? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mercy Tufor, for that inspiring presentation. I think this actually gives us a better understanding of what we are to expect within the project implementation period. And of course, for us at ActionAid, accountability is very important to us. So we needed to put out the figure out there so that you know what we are working with and the kind of support we have received from the EU. We are grateful to you for the support. And thanks so much, Mercy, for breaking the issues down to all of us for us to have a better understanding. But you know, when it comes to developing projects, it goes through a process. It goes through a chain. And there are teams that work on that. And today we wouldn't be here but for the sacrifice, for lack of a better word, of one of our colleagues who did so well by leading us through the process of conception. Because all of us know that you need to send in a proposal, right? You need to sit with a team to develop the proposal, to go through the process of sometimes justifying some of the things that you put in the proposal. And it took a team to do that. But I would want to acknowledge one key person who played a key role even before we had the project manager on board. I actually thought she was going to take it as a project manager and lead it. And this is Madam Margaret Breward, who is a Women's Rights and Campaigns Manager for ActionAid. Thank you so much for the key role you played in putting this particular project together. I think Tage is your baby, and we we hope to see more of you on the project and seeing to its successful implementation throughout the period. Thank you. A lot of the time when we are working as a team, like John has mentioned it, and I have reiterated, unity helps us to be what? See through the future and be able to collaboratively work together. I would like to invite the representative of DOFSU, of SHRAJ. Okay, I think we do not have the representative of DOFSU here. So I would like to invite the Deputy Commissioner of SHRAJ to help us share a message of solidarity with us, so that we all know that SHRAJ is keenly involved in this particular engagement. So please help me welcome Madam Mercy Labi.
Thank you very much, my sister. And I commend you for this project. I think it's good afternoon, so I will say good afternoon. The Executive Director for ActionAid, the rep from the EU delegation, if I'm right. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocols that has already been established here. I bring you warm greetings from the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, and especially from the Commissioner, Mr. Joseph Whittle. He likely wanted to be here, but we have another project which is going on today, and he's chairing. That's why he's not here. So he says his greetings to ActionAid and the partner, FIDA. I think this project, it's a project that should pledge our support, both in terms of human resource, and for finance I can't say, because we know where we are coming from. But any assistance that Shraj can give, we pledge our support to that. Again, for the areas that you are working with, I know we have offices all over that areas that you are working with, and we pledge that our officers will assist to help achieve the objectives of this project. As we know, gender-based violence is something that it's informed by harmful social culture norms, which are deeply rooted in abuse of power and gender inequalities. I think in 2019, the WHO stated that 1 out of 3 women has experienced gender-based violence or will experience same in his or her lifetime. So it's something that we need to work on it. We don't have to leave it. If 1 out of 3 women gathered anywhere has experienced gender-based violence, then we could see the extent that it is deep rooted in our country or in the world. Let me use that thing. And it comes in forms of physical, economic, social, and cultural, socio-cultural context. It is both life-threatening and a human rights violation. GV is a universal phenomenon whose practice cuts across all societies, irrespective of your income, your wealth, status, class, age, or culture. The worst affected are women who live in extremely difficult conditions, or who are discriminated against because of their beliefs, race, membership of a minority group, age, or having divergent opinions. This has a great negative impact on general well-being of the community, as it affects all spheres of life. It affects women's productivity in home, school, and workplace, and in the community as well. GV seriously inhibits women's ability to enjoy rights and freedoms on a basis of equality with men. Framing gender-based violence against women as a human rights violation implies an important conceptual shift. It means recognizing that women are not exposed to violence by accident or because of an inborn state. Violence is the result of structural, deep-rooted discrimination, which the state has an obligation to address. Preventing and addressing gender-based violence against women requires legislative, administrative, and institutional measures and reforms, including the eradication of gender stereotypes. It is in the light of this that SHRAJ is calling for the expedite action from Parliament. Let me take it again. It is in this light that SHRAJ is calling on Parliament to expedite the passing of the bill criminalizing witchcraft accusation and witchcraft hunting. Also, the affirmative action bill, which is before Parliament. I think that bill is the oldest bill in Parliament now. And the age bill. I think with these three bills, if it's passed, it will go a long way to solve or reduce gender-based violence in Ghana, and we are calling on Parliament to work on it, expedite action on it for us to reduce gender-based violence in Ghana. SHRAJ, as a human rights institution in Ghana, wholeheartedly lends support to ActionAid Ghana and other stakeholders within the human rights sphere for the great work done by launching this stage. SHRAJ congratulates and wish you all the best in the enterprises as we still look forward to fruitful future cooperations in our light against all forms of human rights abuses. As I've already said, we pledge our support to this program. Thank you very much.
I think SHRAJ, they are the ones supposed to be pushing for our human rights. So please, let's do well so that they can be doing a lot more for us. Thank you very much, Madam Mercy Labi, for the message. We are grateful to hear that. You will be with us throughout the implementation period to see to the successful end of this project. I would also want to acknowledge, please permit me to acknowledge the presence of Madam Gifty Tekpo. She is the Assistant Director, Social Welfare. Madam, good to have you. Thanks so much for coming. But I think I've introduced everybody but for myself. Okay, so my name is Ohinewa Brown, and I'm the comms manager for ActionAid. So thanks for allowing me to be your moderator for today. At this point, it is time to listen to our, for probably lack of a better word, our sponsors, or I would say our funders. The representative of EU in the person of Mr. Raphael Kwato, who is the Trade Counselor of the European Union delegation to Ghana. Please help me welcome him as he delivers his support message to the project.
Yes, please. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for the applause. Apparently, clapping is relieving stress. And also keeps you awake. So that's also another good. So you don't fall asleep during my speech. So as was said, my name is Raffaele Quarto. You can write it also with we just discussed a different spelling. KW, it will be very Ghanaian style. So, and I am the trade counselor here in the EU delegation, so actually I don't have much to do with your project, but I'm gladly accepting to come here and replace my colleagues that are all either on holidays or sick. So because I think for someone who comes from a different background, trade, knowing and understanding the work that we are doing, I mean, the European Union with our partners here on this important issue of violence for women and protection of women and children, I think is very relevant. Also from a trade perspective, because actually you realize when you work in this field that women are the best traders. So you have to actually put a lot of investment on women, because they are the one that will help to develop also the economy and trade. So what they are doing to protect women is, I think, is very relevant for also for our field. I have here a number of people to acknowledge, but I think it's been done properly by the moderator. So thank you to all that are here, all you that are here to this launch event. And as I said, I'm very honored to participate to this launching event of the Tage project, because this is an excellent occasion to share experience, for me to learn on the effort that has been done to improve gender equality and reduce the violence against women and girls. I don't know if you know, but in November 2020, the European Union launched EU Gender Action Plan. It's an action plan that is last from 21 to 25, so 4 years plan to make the EU engagement on gender equality more effective as a cross-cutting priority for the EU external action in its policy and in programming work. By doing this, we want to ensure that all external assistance across sectors, including infrastructure, digital, energy, agriculture, I would add trade, integrate a gender perspective and support gender equality. And we are doing this because we recognize that women in Ghana, but everywhere in the world, they face challenges that sometimes we men, we are in minority here now, but we tend to forget the challenges, that extra challenges that women have in the society. And this, I think, is important. That's why we have this project on the Gender Action Plan to help to overcome this. Unfortunately, gender-based violence is a very pervasive issue. Globally, 1 on 3 women are victims of such violence. And this, I really mean globally, because also in Europe we have the same issue. In the country that I know better, which is Italy, I think women as the statistically the highest cause of death, of violent death from a woman, is by a partner, in the family environment. So that's really a pervasive issue of all society, including the most developed one. So, and as I said, 1 of 3, so 30% of the people, or the women that you know, may have experienced some form of violence just because are women. So this EU program, we call it GAP, Gender Action Plan, call for a shared strategic approach of the EU and together with the member state. This is an important element. European Union, we are the European Commission, where I belong, the institution I belong to, but we have also member states that are very active in certain areas, in particular on this area of gender equality. So we want to accelerate progress toward international commitment on gender equality and building on our experience to work together with the member state on what we call the Team Europe approach that has been successfully tested during the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. By the way, I open a parenthesis here. It's not written in my speech, but I think that women, when it comes to health issues, women are the most equipped to deal with. So I think that, again, helping women to overcome these issues is also good for the whole society in terms of health, because they are the ones that are better equipped to answer to issues like pandemic that we are facing now. And we also think that the post-COVID-19 recovery, which we are trying now to develop, should be and has to be an opportunity to address structural inequalities and build societies that are more inclusive. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the country level, the European Union is committed to support the promotion of gender equality and women's empowerment, and this we have done through a number of interventions. We have another project called Enough project, which is funded by the European Union and is implemented by Oxfam IBIS and the consortium partner. And this project has undertaken a number of researches, including research on gender and social norms related to sexual and gender-based violence. So that's, I think, very relevant for your activities. A number of stakeholders have been engaged on the findings to leverage on their skills and experience in advancing gender action in Ghana. So I encourage you to be in contact with this Oxfam IBIS organization. Ghana has made a clear commitment, Ghana in terms of government, to the highest political level, to the 2030 agenda, and its national development strategy is based on this. So creating prosperity and equal opportunity for all, which is this strategy, adheres to the leave no one behind principle, LNOB principle, pointing out the needs for inclusive development, allowing all citizens of Ghana to participate equally to the country development. I also want to add this from my trade perspective that, Ghana is one of the countries most involved in the African Continental FTA, which is this project that is really a transformative project for the continent and has a very important repercussion on all areas of the society and the economy. And in this negotiation, probably if you follow the negotiation, but there is been added recently, last February, a protocol on women and youth in trade, which is what I was saying at the beginning, the importance of women for trade and also young people to be really the catalyst of this change that we want to have with this Continental FTA project. So on this final note, I, of course, need to acknowledge ActionAid Ghana, here represented as the role that you have as implementing partner, and of course FIDA Ghana as a collaborating partner to be the implementer of this project. But I was also to mention my colleagues, Juliet, who is the project manager, and I think she should be here in my place, but is too shy for that, because she will be your reference during this, I think, 2 years of implementation of this project. I think that's the important person in the delegation for you, not me. So thank you very much for your attention and for your work on this important topic. And I'm looking forward to see all this result that was mentioned in the slide to be concrete, realized concretely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, do you want them to take the money away? I think you should try and do better. Thank you very much, Mr. Raphael Kwato, the Trade Counselor, EU Delegation to Ghana. We are grateful for the support message and also for signposting some of the project that you're working on that would be of relevance to the project. Thank you so much. Okay, so we are making progress. And at this point, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Madam Florence Ayisi Korte, who is the Acting Director at the Department of Children at the Ministry of Children, of Gender, Children and Social Protection. And she will be the one to deliver the message from the Executive Director of the Ministry. Please, can we give her a round of applause? Welcome, Madam.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I was a bit late. There was another assignment for me at another program. And I bring you very warm greetings from the Chief Director, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Fisa Zakaria, who is also a bit occupied with another program and couldn't make it. And she wants me to express her sincerest apologies for not being able to be here. So I read the speech on her behalf. The Country Director, ActionAid in FIDA, Ghana, representative from the European Union, Juliet, our project coordinator, our representatives from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Vera from the Department of Gender, and then Linda from the Policy Planning Unit, our project manager for the, is it Tage? Yeah, Tage projects, civil society present, our media friends, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. It's a great delight to be in your midst today as we launch the Tage project and also bring you warm greetings from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. First of all, we'd like to congratulate ActionAid for this project and also thank European Union sincerely for funding this project and also acknowledge FIDA for their partnership to implementing this project on behalf of the women in Ghana. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection recognizes that achieving gender equalities by 2030 is, as indicated in the UN Sustainable Development Goals, will require hard work that maximize on the financial as well as the technical input for various partners to ensure that we have a unified roadmap on ending gender-based violence against women. It is therefore transformative that we are all here to address the issue with this Tage project. Gender transformative interventions are what is needed to address strategic gender interests and challenge all forms of inequalities, and the ministry believes that this project will fulfill its stated aim of empowering women and girls in selected regions, that is in the northern part of the country. So we are looking at the northern region, Upper East, Greater Accra region. We know women the necessary information and skills to understand risky situations, to make informed decisions, goes a long way in ensuring that they don't face gender-based violence. And that's why we are happy that we have laid the foundation through the National Gender Policy to assist in giving strategies that will ensure that the Tage project will take into account the national priorities for our women. We need collaboration to work on this, and I wanted to bring attention to the ActionAid that we just not here to launch. The ministry needs to be involved. You need to share the results so that we know where we are and how we improve on the situation of women in the areas that you are working in. So please involve the Department of Gender in everything you are doing. Please inform them of the results so that it can reflect in the national report. this morning I was with a civil society forum that is looking at online protection for children. And one of the key things we do as a country, you know it, everything we do emanates from the National Development Framework. And every ministry is mandated to report on some core indicators. And the Department of Gender is responsible for gender-related indicators for the country. So if you do any program and you don't report to them, they will only report a few things that they are in charge of, which it should not be the case. So if you don't report of your achievements, for them to report them against the necessary indicators, all you'll be reporting to the EU is the small thing that you've done. But if you're able to report to the national lead, then we are able to collate all what has been done nationwide in ending gender-based violence. And that's why we need to be key actors in this project and not just participating and launching. So we look forward to a fruitful relationship that will ensure that gender-based violence is a thing of the past. The ministry is doing its part. We know we launched the Bwame app last year to look at how we respond to gender-based violence. We've received quite a number of cases that we are working on. Currently, we are working on more than 150 cases that has been referred to various agencies for redress. Also, the Helpline for Hope has also received more than 200 cases on gender-based violence that has been referred to the various appropriate bodies for redress. So in case you don't know, the number for the Orange Support Center is 0800 111 222. 0800 111 222. It's a toll-free line, 24 hours. If you can't reach us on that, you can reach us on 0800 800 800 and 0800 900 100 on the Helpline of Hope. Our workers are there to assist you when you call and able to work with you to track cases to its end. I wish to end by saying that partnership is a key component of the SDG, and therefore we need to nurture. It doesn't happen by itself. We need to make conscious effort to ensure that everybody is brought on board. And since we are doing a project for women and girls, we need to ensure that their voices are heard in this project. We don't go telling them what they are supposed to be doing, but we listen to them what they want to be done for them and what they think they can do that we can empower them to do. Because they say nothing for us without us. And on that note, we say a big thank you, and then also wish again to congratulate ActionAid and FIDA for this project. We look forward to a very good result for our women and children. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Florence Ayisi Korte, Acting Director, Department of Children at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. I like the fact that you've reminded us to send information so that it can be included in the national report, which is very, very important. And so I know that our team leads have taken note of that and will be acting accordingly. Now we've gotten to the stage where all of us get to maybe know the name Tage. I know we've been mentioning it, but can we have everyone just mention Tage? And maybe I'm sure we know that from henceforth we'll be using the name Tage, but let's try as much as possible to also explain what the Tage is. Because I'm a comms person, so most of the time I don't like to use abbreviations because it confuses people. But it helps people to also, it's more like a top of mind recall in marketing for people to know Tage. But then we know that it is transformative action for gender equality. So let's just all bear in mind. So at this point, I will be inviting most of our speakers to help us officially launch the project. And then, as I mentioned earlier, keep our boots laced and then move to the communities. And as Mr. Kwato said, he wants to see the results that we've mentioned, which is very, very important, and not just the forum. So at this I would, if my team is ready, I I will just let's get ourselves prepared. Mr. Raphael Cotto, please, you would be joining the team or the leadership to help us officially launch. We would also have the executive director of FIDA Ghana as well as my boss, Mr. John Enko, to join the representatives for the official launch of the project. And then we would have Madame Florence Aisi Korte also join them when we're ready for us to officially launch the Tage project. Now, I just want to plead with all of you. After this particular activity, each and every one of us need to make a commitment, and the only commitment you can do is to use our photo frame and to also use our zero violence frame so that you can take a picture as a sign of your commitment to combating violence in the communities. Just last week, I was in the OT region, just to mention how effective the combat teams are in the communities. So just last week, I was in the OT region, precisely in KJB. And in my engagement with the combat teams, I basically wanted to understand some of the successes they've achieved over the period through their activities. And one of the things they mentioned that really got me excited was the fact that they have been able to educate the community people. And this is a community that used to constantly record violence against women. But now, the community has been so empowered and educated to the extent that they hardly record issues of violence. And now they live in harmony, in cohesion, and support each other. And it's also because the community members also know that they have individuals who are more like watching the actions of each and every one of them. And so before they take a step to perpetuate any level of violence against anyone in the community, those people who make up of the combat team serve as a reference point for them. And they are able to stop before they take action. So this also tells you that even before we go into the community to start any action on this particular project, we are achieving some level of successes in the community through the combat team. And that already tells you that through them, as well as the collective effort of each and every one of you seated here, we are going to achieve the various outcomes that we've listed. And we pray that you will not only lend your support at this forum, but also ensure that we move ahead through the implementation period of this project. So, for us at ActionAid, in launching projects, it's not about the glam. It's not about the popping of the champagnes, basically to show that we've launched something. But it's about what goes on the ground. And so I would want to invite the individuals that I mentioned earlier. First of all, Mr. John Enko, please, if you can help us by coming forward, as well as Mr. Raphael Cotto, who is a trade counselor, EU delegation to Ghana. Can we also have the Ministry of Health representative, Madame Selina, to join the team? Okay. Please. Oh, Madame Noel. Madam, she's not here. Can we also have the acting head of programs, Madam Shivera? Okay, so I think we have all the team members here. So before we do that, we would get Mr. John Inco to say something brief before we go ahead. So please.
Thank you very much, Ohinoa. And let me add that I'll make a short statement. EU will make a short statement, and then we would now host the project brochure. And on that occasion, we would do the joint lunch. I think that we would jointly try to host it, and then we would say on this occasion. Then in Ghana, we usually like the hip, 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 hooray, and that signals the launch of the project. Having said this, let me say that we are launching this project at a time that statistics point to the fact that issues of gender-based violence against women is quite with us. You've heard the statistics. On this occasion, ActionAid does not take the generous funding support of EU for granted. We want to continuously acknowledge that with the generous support of the EU and the people of the European Union, this project has been made a possibility. And we also pledge, as most of us heard already, to implement the project quite systematically in a way that will generate the results that we have stated that we will achieve. On this note, I'm very excited to revert to EU for your statement. Thank you.
Thank you for this, and I'm also very excited to be here and to see how this cooperation between the European Union people, because this is funding that comes from the European Union people, taxpayers, can help Ghana people, in particular women of Ghana, to overcome this challenge, which, as I said, is not only in Ghana, is everywhere in the world. But I'm very pleased that we can do this in this country. Just thing you mentioned, I mean, there was mentioned that this project is covering 4 regions. I really wish that after these 4 regions, the very successful result could be extended to all the country, right, so that nobody is left behind. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. So on this occasion, ladies and gentlemen, we want to jointly declare this project duly launched. Hip, 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 hip. Hooray. Hip, 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 hip. Hooray. Thank you very much. Let's clap to the best of this new project. Thank you.
So I think we can, before you leave, you can just hold it in a way that we can just have the cameraman capture it. All right, thank you very much. Oh, I think we can do better. Aren't we happy? I think we are happy that this has been officially launched. And we will be heading to the communities basically to get the work done on the grounds. Gentlemen, I want to say a big thank you to you all for the active participation. So soon we have come to the end of the program, and before we close officially, I would want to invite the project manager in the person of, project manager from ActionAid, because we have 3 project managers, in the person of Madam Mercy Tufuo, to give us some closing message. Thank you.
Thank you, Ohinewa. So thank you very much for making it a point to be here today. We are very grateful. Without you, we wouldn't have had this beautiful program. We want to say that we are very grateful for your presence. The weather was not too good in the morning, but still you came to help us launch this project. As I said earlier on, the state agencies, you see this face very frequently in your offices, and it has been buttressed by the Director for Children, Department of Children under the Ministry of Gender, that we need to report on what we are doing so that they can have a holistic view. So thank you once again for coming. Thank you. We are grateful. And the other announcement.
All right, so thank you very much, Madam Mercy Tufuo. I would want to probably take another chance and acknowledge the presence of Mr. Raphael Pacho, who is a Trade Councillor EU delegation. We are grateful to you for making it to today's meeting. To all the state agency representative, Madam Selina, Madam Mercy, I'm sorry if I haven't mentioned your name, but Madam Vera Kakari, Madam Florence, and to our Queen Mother, we're grateful to have you here, Madam, and we hope to continue with the engagement with you all going forward, so that we can achieve the results of this project. On behalf of ActionAid and on behalf of FIDA, EU, and all the agencies, we wish to say a big thank you and hope to see you at another forum or another training at the event. Please, let's try as much as possible to use the photo frame to take a picture, because this would also support our engagements, our social media engagements, our publicity engagements on the project. So please, let's use the photo frame to take a picture. The photographer is here to take very good shots of you. If you need them, we can send them you copies of it so that you can be sharing it. If you look at the banner over there, you can see building an equal society. And so this is basically like a message that we intend to move with, because once you transform a particular group of people, you are able to build a society that is equal for everybody to live in. Thank you so much. My name is Ohinewa, and I'm glad to be your moderator for today.